The issues that will be discussed in this video include basic women's rights, how they've changed or not throughout the years, and how they differ from one region to another. First of all, regarding marriages, women used to marry at very young ages, and that differs from one country to another. But within the United States, women used to marry at a much younger age in the 1920s, which was 21 years old. And regarding Saudi Arabia, within the last 50 years, women used to get married at 14 years old. It was considered the most appropriate age for marriage. Prior to the 60s, children were more frequently conceived due to the lack of the pill. In the US, the pill was not authorized until the 1960s, and even then, it was not accessible for all women. However, in the Arab world, a woman has to reproduce. That was their primary job, which is to bring offspring and take care of them at the age of 14 years old. Women were not allowed to have a backup plan for conception, as they were not allowed to have abortions and pregnancy terminations. And this is still an ongoing issue in certain places. However, today, Planned Parenthood teaches women how to avoid conception and provides them with the necessary means to avoid abortion. Women would get fired for being pregnant. So if a woman would by chance need a job and gets pregnant and she is not allowed to use neither birth control nor abortion, it would make a woman live without support and more responsibilities. As for one of the most sensitive subjects, and it is sexual harassment and rape, women could not sue for sexual harassment. Rape within marriage was not criminalized. In the West, these rights were changed. But in the Arab world, it is socially unacceptable for a woman to admit sexual harassment, so there is rarely any legal action taken on the matter. As for rape within marriage, in the Western world, laws were developed for the matter, but in the Arab world, rape within marriage is still not considered rape or any action of such. It is considered somewhat of a husband's right to have his wife when he needs to, and she is supposed to oblige. However, the lack of any legal action regarding marital rape is not confined to Arab countries. Some Asian and East Asian countries, as well as African countries, still haven't considered marital rape a crime. Regarding education, it was very difficult for women to get Ivy League education until 1969 in the West. But in KSA, for example, women were allowed access to education in general in 1956, but not all girls had the opportunity until 1960. Until the 1970s, women in the West were not allowed to have a credit card without the consent of their husbands. In KSA, until this day, a woman cannot get a credit card or open a bank account without the authorization signature of the legal guardian, which is usually the father, brother, or the husband. And the same goes for accepting a job. A woman cannot take a job without authorization. Women used to have unequal pay grades because of their gender, and this is still a persisting issue in some countries until this day. We believe that awareness plays a big role in women's rights and its issues. When a culture, society, and government has no awareness and foresight, it will always be underdeveloped. Awareness contributes to making any society great and developed, but awareness doesn't only target certain parts of the society. Awareness needs to be inclusive and not exclusive. When a government cannot take 50% of the society, which are women, seriously, then they are bound to remain in recession, depression, and underdevelopment.